What's going on, everybody? Just give me a second here. I'm going to wait for Instagram to go live. All right. All right. What's going on, everybody? Fire Chicken here at the Scrapyard. If you're not familiar with who I am, I'm the creator of the Scrapyard, not the Street Beast creator. That's Chris Wilmore. But I did create the Scrapyard back in 2020, and we've been running it now for almost 5 years. You know what? This video right here is going to be information. We're not doing any fights right now on this video. This is going to tell you how to get signed up and kind of what you need to do as far as the process goes. So, for one, if you're joining us on Instagram right now, head on over to our YouTube channel, Street Beast Scrapyard. That's where we post all the full fights. I post almost every single day, so you're really missing out if you're not on there. But I'm going to go over kind of what you can expect coming up this week. As I said, we have fights this Saturday on the 22nd. And if you're not familiar on how to sign up, basically you just go to our Facebook group that has like what's it got, like 52,000 people in it, and there's a whole process. Everything's like laid out, and it's pretty easy to figure out. So you go in there, you read through, we're in Washington State, and you pretty much put your information in, and then on fight week, which is this coming week, you message me for the address if you're signed up to fight and you're going to make it. DM me for the address on Facebook, and I'll shoot you the address, tell you what time to be here, yada yada yada. And you show up, you get matched up at the fights, and you fight that day. And we're looking at actually having a really big event this time. Sir Yedis has a good question right here. And look, Instagram, I know you guys are probably popping off with a bunch of questions right now, but I'm going to cater more to the YouTube thing right now and Facebook. So these are where I'm going to be putting the answering questions and everything. So you guys can just hang out, listen, or you can head on over to the Facebook group. And this is actually going live on my Scrapyard prelims channel. I didn't want to go live on the main one today. So I'm going to answer this question really quick for Sir Yedis. So how do you determine someone's fighting experience? Could you tell if they're not truthful? So we kind of take your word for it. And we have a numbering system. First off, it ranges from 0 to 5. So like if you're level 0, it means you've never put gloves on before, you've never fought anybody, like you got no experience. A level 1 is somebody that, all right, maybe you've had some street fights, maybe you hit the bag at your house a little bit. A level 2 is somebody that's got some training at like a legit gym with a coach that shows you technique, how to protect yourself, etc. Level 3 is somebody who has actually fought in amateurs at least one time and has some training. Level 4 is going to be a very experienced amateur, a very experienced amateur, somebody that has definitely been in a few amateur fights. And a 5 is somebody that's professional level, just never fought professionally. That could be like a title holder in it on the amateur circuit, etc. So if we were to get somebody that maybe wanted to sandbag and come out there and pretend like they were a level 0, and we notice it right away, we will stop the fight, and that's going to be the end of it. We don't want any of that kind of crap going on, because the whole point is to get people experience and get them wanting to love the fight game and have fair and even competition. So we don't put up with the lying bullshit. So don't even try. You won't ever be welcome back to the Scrapyard. You know it's not right. So we also match within 10 pounds. So if you're fighting, unless you're a heavyweight, there could be more than a 10-pound stretch there. We do have belts, and if you want to fight for a belt and you have some fights in the Scrapyard, and we basically say, okay, we'll let you fight for a belt, you're essentially putting yourself in a position where you are a level 5, because you'll fight anybody. Doesn't matter who we give you, because you want to fight for the title. So just keep that in mind if you want to come out and take a title or whatever. You got to put your time in, and then you also have to be willing to fight anybody to defend that title or fight for that title. So just a heads up, you know, we work pretty good with matchmaking. I think we're pretty accurate. If it's your first time out here, it can be a little bit harder to gauge you based on what you tell us. So we generally use your first fight as kind of a reference point to where to put you in the upcoming fights. Let's see, Sir Yidis, if someone wants to go pro, could Scrapyard be a sponsor? I mean, we don't really have anything set up to where we are necessarily sponsoring a fighter. But if somebody's fought at the Scrapyard and they want to work with the Scrapyard after they've gone pro, I mean, we can definitely help as far as like advertising and kind of showcasing to the fans like your journey and everything. But I can't be promising like the Scrapyard's going to be paying for like, you know, your training or anything like that. A lot of people have different reasons for coming out to Scrapyard, and some of them are that, hey, I want to be a pro someday, and we are here to help you get to that point. And we appreciate it if you do get to that point, that you show some love back, you know, for kind of getting you that publicity on your way up and getting you those fights that gave you experience, and introducing you to a lot of new coaches and training partners and friends. So I mean, that's ultimately what we offer out here. You know, people will come out here and nobody will know who they are. They might already have experience, they might not. Nobody will have any idea who they are, and they start fighting at the Scrapyard, and all of a sudden that name becomes known, and it's because we were able to push it to an audience so that people could, you know, invest in that fighter. And people definitely want to like follow journeys and everything. Yeah, a few fighters have become pro from this. So anything's possible, and there's a great amount of community out here and experience. So let me click over here really quick. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people watching on Instagram. Hey, sorry you guys, I'm really just answering these messages on it's called how about I send you the link to the YouTube channel, so if you guys on Instagram really want to kind of join in the chat and ask questions, I can do that. So hold on a second. All right, I'm heading over, send you a link. Okay. All right. I'm going to get into like the majority of the stuff that I came here to talk about here in a second, but so it's you guys should have a link posted on there. I know you probably won't be able to click on the link, but you can at least search us on YouTube. One more question. Does the Scrapyard have training sessions? Not consistently, to be honest. Like we do barbecues, which are kind of bringing the community together, where we can train and get to know, you know, new fighters and find places to find gyms to join and everything. So we don't really have consistent training, but a number of the fighters here in like a fighter chat, where if somebody's like, hey, I'm in Tacoma, anybody want to get some rounds in today? A couple people might say I'm interested, and they do like a little meetup wherever. And that's just kind of one of the things we offer, is like trying to bring community and people together so they can get that training in. Okay, let's get to it. Fight week. So fighters, if you signed up in our Facebook group properly, not just hit going, but if you actually signed up properly, and you read the post, you know that you're supposed to DM me on fight week. I'll technically call this fight week, you know, Sunday. So fighters, at any point, you can DM me on Facebook and get the address, the time. You should already know the time, but the address, and you're confirming whether or not you're going to be there too. So if you're not going to show up, at least get a hold of me and say, Fire Chicken, I can't make it Saturday. I don't know, whatever excuse you come up with. just let me know. I don't like it when people sign up and then just not show up, but that is why we do the sign up, show up, get matched up, fight deal, so that if somebody signs up and they really weren't going to show up in the first place, or maybe they wanted to, it's so I don't have them set up for a match and that match falls through, because that happens a lot in amateurs and pros. You have your set fight ahead of time. If someone doesn't show up, it's like detrimental to the fight card, but it isn't to us because we do our matchmaking at the events. Staff, let's is another one that we need confirmation from, and my staff's been actually pretty good about confirming my referees, my nurses, various people helping out with various things at the scrapyard have already messaged me and confirmed. I have not heard from any matchmakers, so I will be looking for matchmakers at this event. And really, guys, what I'm looking for is reliability and communication with my staff. I understand things happen because this is a volunteer basis. I understand things happen. You can't make it out. But if you don't let me know like ahead of time and you're missing a lot of events, then it starts to become like the reliability thing isn't there. And if you're not telling me you're not going to be there, then the communication thing isn't there. And then we start trying to find someone to fill that spot for the position that we're trying to do. And what do you get by being volunteer out here at the scrapyard? Well, for one, you get to show up and watch a full day of fights for free. I mean, you don't get that anywhere else. I mean, you're not going to find any amateur fights where you can just walk in, sit down, and watch 30 fights for free. It just doesn't happen. You're part of the community. There's lots of stuff that goes on at the events that are fun. You get access to something that the general public does not get access to. So just remember that. It's a privilege to be able to come out here and be part of the community, part of the team. So, and we always appreciate our volunteers. And that just brings me to my next point is everything with the scrapyard is volunteer. So I'll bring up a few things like when we built the cage, when we did the shipping containers, it's all volunteer. And everybody knows that. Everybody that comes out here knows that when you show up, you're helping out, nobody comes up and is like, hey, can I get a whole bunch of money because I've devoted my time? Unfortunately, it's not like that. It's always on a volunteer basis. If there's something that needs to be built, I always pay for like the cost of the materials and all that stuff. So, but we do really appreciate people helping build things for the community. And I remember when we all put the cage together, that was a whole group of people. Like we had to do the turf, we had to paint, we had to put the cage walls up, we had to cement stuff in. It was a lot of work, but we all came together as a community and got it done. And it ultimately just makes what we have better. So, and again, no money involved. So we don't charge any admission to anybody out here. Nobody's ever been charged any admission to get in. There's no pay. There's no paying to the fighters. We're doing this legally. So I know a lot of people don't like that whole aspect of it, but I mean, to keep doing what we're doing, it's got to be that way. So I hope everyone understands and still wants to be involved with us. Now let's talk. What is it? Oh, plus one. I'm looking at 30 plus fights this month, by the way. So really important. So fighters, plus one means plus one. Don't bring out more than one person. That's your corner. I mean, if your girlfriend or family member wants to see you fight, it's just not a spectator thing. We don't have the space out here for spectators. So we're keeping it that plus one. We do have a pay-per-view. We used to do a live stream, but I ended up dumping like a whole bunch of money into getting our live stream better because I had so many complaints about it. But now it's a pay-per-view. If you're a member of our YouTube paid membership, which is like $2, if you go on there, you can see that I posted a promo code for the fights for you, for the member. that's in that. You can get a big discount off of the pay-per-view. And we're doing our pay-per-view through www.millions.co. They're a great platform. They do interviews for our fighters. And we're doing this every single month. So I understand some people are like, oh, I have to pay for the fights. No, you don't. You do not have to pay for fights. I'm just going to put that out there now. I'm not ever going to make it so that you have to pay to watch any of the fights. Now, and I say that because I edit all the fights myself and put them on YouTube for free. Case in point, I put one out yesterday. That was one of the fights from last month that we had a pay-per-view for. Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch it live as it's happening, I mean, sure, there's pay involved there. To watch that, it's a convenience thing. You know, we're putting a lot of money into the live feed. We've got sponsors stepping up and helping out. I mean, we built this really nice commentary booth and everything, and we have people commentating on the fights now for this next event. So it will be significantly better than the last pay-per-view. Last one was really a trial basis. And this is going to be a trial too. We're really just testing things out to make sure it's exactly how we want it to be for the fights. So I'm really excited about it. I think this pay-per-view is going to be great. We got like multiple cameras that we can switch back and forth between the ring and inside the commentary booth. We're going to have special guests inside the commentary booth. We're going to have fighters come in and get interviewed. And we have 2 dedicated hosts that are going to be running the commentary the whole time. They're going to have the fighter stats. They're going to have, they're going to be able to talk about their experience with watching those fighters fight in the past, if they know who they are. And again, if we have special guests out at the scrapyard, we can bring them in to the booth and have them interviewed. I got a special camera that's a really wide angle lens, so that while we're in the commentary booth, it can kind of capture everybody inside there. So I'm really hoping you guys appreciate all the work that's getting put into this. It's a lot, but we're trying to just up our game and make this a really, really enjoyable experience for you, the fans, and have the fighters be able to look back at this and say, man, I fought on this thing where they had like paper, like commentary and, you know, like really getting treated like a professional fighter, going through this whole thing with what we have to offer. So it's all on giving back to the fighters, and also through the pay-per-view. If fighters want to create their own profile for free, they can sell their own merch. They can sell their own interactions with fans. They could sell merchandise like gloves that they've signed, whatever. That's all on the Millions platform, millions.co, and fighters can independently do that. It's not even tied to the scrapyard, you know, and then Millions will actually link them to us, so that like if you see a fighter fight on there, or Millions does an interview for a fighter, they can actually link you up to their profile and link that to our profile. So it kind of all comes together. Really good platform. I can't say enough that, you know, how great it is that we're working with them now. So they really do have a lot to offer. Let's see. Okay. For the staff, I need you there at 9 a.m. just like the fighters, maybe even a little bit early, like maybe 10-15 till. And for the check-in station and for the setups, refs, I need you there at 10 a.m. And we do look like we're covered on refs this month. Not saying we don't want extra refs to come, but we are covered as far as like, I have somebody that's coming out for like training that's going to be potentially one of our refs. And then I have 2 other refs, but the more the merrier. It helps split up the workload. And we're looking at a 12 p.m. start time. So we're looking at noon. The pay-per-view says 12:30, but we're probably going to start about a half hour early. We really want to get fighters signed up and get matchmaking started and get you guys through the fighter meeting process to explain the rules and expectations of the scrapyard. The referees are part of that, which is really important. They let you know what's acceptable and what's not, how you conduct yourself on, you know, at the events. And then right after that, we have you guys, the first fighters, head on over to the medical station, get checked out, get evaluated, get Vaseline, everything, and you guys are ready to go. And we'll start filming. and start up the pay-per-view. We want to keep the ball rolling quick on this because we do have so many fights. We do have, it is nicer when we have more MMA fights on events like this, because MMA fights tend to go quicker than the boxing or kickboxing fights that might go 3 rounds. So it is rain or shine. Okay, porta potty. I know it's like we're talking about a toilet. So I want to give a very sincere apology to anybody that showed up to the last event. Normally, I make sure that the porta potty situation is taken care of. That that we're good. You know what? I never shared this to the Facebook group. Damn it. I usually make sure that the porta potty is taken care of, and it did not get taken care of last month. So we had a stinky porta potty that was gross, and I felt kind of embarrassed about it because it is something that we have an entire month to take care of. And so when it doesn't get taken care of, then oh damn, I didn't mean to post that. Damn it. Share. Let's see. Oh, groups. There we go. Sorry, I'm multi-sharing. There we go. It is embarrassing to not have a clean porta potty. That's something that, especially when we have a larger event, we get a whole bunch of people out there. It's really kind of gross when it's not. Okay, I did share that twice. It's really gross when it's not taken care of. But I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. I'm gonna, personally take care of it. Not myself pump it out, but make sure it gets taken care of, I should say. So I already took care of it this month, so it is clean. We will have our food vendor Cavocado out there again. They take care of our food vendor stuff. We appreciate them. They're great for the scrapyard. So Derek, thank you so much. We have a new sponsor, and I think we're going to have a special guest. I'll get to our first sponsor. Our new sponsor is called War Trophy. So they're a veteran-owned company. They have various things on their website, like military-style rings, clothing, soap, and I think they said that they're going to be running I'm actually going to find them on here. I'll link you guys up. wartrophy.com. Here we go. So they might be doing some kind of sale or promo thing on the website. I'm not sure. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the best way. I'll put it in here, but it's if you want to go there, it's just wartrophy.com. It's exactly how it sounds. That's our new sponsor, veteran owned, veteran operated. So we're just super excited to be working with them. We're shooting for like a long-term working with them kind of deal. The other one is HKA. So HKA USA, they provide us with all of our gloves out to scrapyard. I'm actually supposed to make an order with them, but it's on me. I haven't gotten around to it. But they stay in constant contact with me, and I believe Nick, the owner creator of HKA, will be at the scrapyard this month. That'll be really cool. He's flying in all the way from, I believe, the Midwest to come check it out live. So you'll see him in the commentary booth, most likely interviewing him. Let's see here. What else? So thank you, HKA. You guys are awesome. We are still going to Virginia. So again, this is the Virginia invasion. This will be our second time. We were actually the first branch to invade another branch. We invaded Virginia back in like 2021. It's like within our first year of operation, I think it was. We went over there and invaded, and here we are again in 2025. We're headed over May 3rd. We're going to be there for a few days. We're going to hit up Neutral Corner. Really excited about this. Got a lot of big names going over there. We're going to see Crazy Legs going over there. We're going to see King Kai going over there. Ronin's going over there. Flex is going over there. So stay tuned. A lot more information is going to come out about that as we get closer to it. We'll have pre-matchups made. Pappas is going over. We're gonna get fighters pre-matched up, and we'll be able to tell you who's fighting who before we even make it over there. This is kind of for the fighters. On millions.co, they offer interviews, and I need to get you guys linked up with millions.co to get your interviews. They'll set up a meeting time with you and everything, and then you basically just get on a webcam or your phone, and they'll have somebody interview you, and it might be somebody that already does podcasts and like a bigger name person or whatever. I don't know. I've been interviewed once on there, and it was a great interview. I had a good time. So I hope to do another one maybe this week. Millions, if you're watching, I could definitely do an interview like prior to, some of these events, or to every event if you want to do that, and help push the pay-per-view a little bit more. All right, so I got to get to my video editing. I got to get to posting some reels on Instagram and Facebook. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you gals for tuning in. If you're interested in that pay-per-view, you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, or scrapyardfighting@gmail.com. Like I'll get you the link to the pay-per-view, and it's going to be a great one. And again, thanks everybody. Peace out.